Frozen cries in the wind. The wind screamed across the icy ground like a wild animal. Snowflakes danced in the air, sharp like tiny blades. Eli's boots crunched the frozen ground as he walked, each step slow and heavy. His breath came out in white clouds. The storm was getting worse. He was alone. His ship, the Seraph, was parked behind him, half buried in snow. The scanner on his arm beeped softly, trying to search for signs of life. But there was nothing. This planet was supposed to be empty. Just another dead rock, he had said when he landed. But then he heard it. A sound. Faint. Thin. Almost like a whisper. It wasn't wind. Eli stopped walking. He turned off the scanner to listen. There it was again. A tiny cry, like a child's. He looked around, but saw nothing. Only snow, rocks, and ice. Still the sound came again. Closer now. A soft sobbing. Weak and scared. Eli's heart beat faster. He pulled his coat tighter and moved toward the sound. His flashlight cut through the snow. He passed a cracked stone, then a fallen tree branch. Alien wood frozen hard like metal. Then he saw it. A small shape, curled behind a boulder. It shook with each breath. Covered in a thin cloth, almost like rags. Blue skin. 3 fingers. Tiny. Horns on its head. Not human. It was a child. An alien child. Her eyes were shut tight, and she was crying quietly. Her tears froze the moment they touched her cheeks. Eli knelt beside her. Hey, it's okay, I won't hurt you. She flinched. He slowly took off his thick coat and wrapped it around her. Her eyes opened, big, round, glowing with fear. Cold, she whispered. Her voice was soft, almost broken. I know, Eli said gently. You're safe now. I've got you. He lifted her in his arms. She was light, almost weightless. Her skin was ice cold. Too cold. She clung to him like a kitten, burying her face in his chest. As he walked back toward the ship, the wind howled louder, as if the storm didn't want to let her go. Inside the ship, warmth returned like a forgotten memory. Eli laid her on the heated bed and wrapped her in blankets. He gave her water. She drank fast like she hadn't tasted it in days. Are you alone? He asked. She looked at him, confused. Where's your family? He asked again, slowly. She just shook her head and whispered one word. Mama. Her voice cracked on the word. Eli felt something inside him twist. He had seen many things in space. War, death, silence. But nothing like this. A child. Alone. In a deadly storm. He checked her vitals with his scanner. Low temperature. Starving. Weak heart. How was she even alive? He opened a food pack, soft and warm, and offered it to her. She sniffed it first, then ate carefully, slowly. She didn't trust him fully, but she wanted to. While she ate, Eli walked to the control panel. He checked the planet's files again. No signs of life, no settlements, no reason for her to be here. So where did she come from? Outside, something tapped the ship. Tap, tap. Eli turned. The window was foggy from the storm. Nothing could be seen. Then, again. Tap, tap. He grabbed his blaster and opened the door quickly. Only snow. He stepped out. The storm had calmed a little. He walked to where he heard the sound, and there, in the snow, were footprints. Not his. Not hers. Bigger. Heavier. Fresh. Eli crouched. The prints went around the ship, once, then disappeared into the storm. Someone, or something, had been watching. He went back inside, locking the door behind him. The girl was asleep now, curled, in his coat. Eli sat down beside her, confused and uneasy. A child in the snow, crying alone, freezing to death. And someone out there, watching. The fire in the room flickered low, casting long shadows on the walls, and outside, the wind whispered his name. Eli. He froze. No one had said his name, not since he landed. Footprints, In the ice, the storm had slowed, but Eli's mind was racing. The alien child slept on the bed, wrapped in his coat, breathing softly. Her small hands gripped a corner of the blanket like she was afraid it would be taken. Outside the window, snow drifted like falling ash, but Eli couldn't sleep. Not after what he heard. Someone, something, had whispered his name. He checked. The scanner again. No signs of life, no movement. Just the same message blinking. Life support stable. External temp. Buffering 49 degree. Still, the footprints were real. They circled the ship like a predator testing its prey. He stepped outside again, blaster in hand. The wind was cold but quiet now. The snow around his ship was marked with deep, heavy footprints. They were wider than his boots. And they didn't match the child's either. They vanished into the dark. He followed them, slow steps, careful. The snow crunched softly. The world was quiet. Too quiet. The footprints led him toward a patch of jagged rocks not far from the ship. A place he hadn't noticed before. There, in the snow, he found something. A doll. Broken. Frozen. Its face worn smooth by wind. But it wasn't human-made. Alien fabric. Alien style. The child's? He picked it up, and behind the rock he saw something strange. A symbol carved into the stone. Sharp lines. A triangle with a circle in the middle. Marked over and over deep into the surface. Fresh. Someone had carved it recently, and next to it, blood. Small drops. Now frozen. Blue. Not human blood. Eli turned fast, heart pounding. Nothing. Only the wind. He returned to the ship, more alert now. Someone had been near the ship. Watching. Bleeding. And possibly searching. Back inside, the girl was awake. She stared at the ceiling, eyes wide. Eli kneeled beside her. "You okay?" She looked at him and said in a trembling voice, "They follow. Always." He frowned. "Who?" She pointed to the window, then curled into a ball. Eli showed her the doll. She gasped and reached out for it. "Mine," she whispered. "From Mama." He gave it to her. She hugged it tightly, tears forming again in her eyes. Eli tried a translation device. It scanned her voice, matched some fragments. The results showed 3 words: run, hide, beast. His blood turned cold. She wasn't just lost. She was running from something. Later that night, the girl was drawing on a tablet. Eli watched quietly. She drew a picture of a large cave in the mountain. She pointed at it. "Mama." Inside. Then she drew a shadow next to it, big, tall, with claws. Eli asked, "That's the beast?" She nodded once. Her hand shook as she drew glowing eyes. Eli swallowed hard. The cave was marked on his map too, but it was labeled unstable ground, avoid. Now he knew why. That's where she came from. That's where her mother might still be, and that's where the beast lived. Eli didn't sleep that night. He stared out the window, his blaster in hand. In the morning, the snow near the ship had changed again. The footprints had returned. This time there were 2 sets. One small, one large. The small ones walked toward the ship. The large ones had stopped just 10 feet away. They didn't move forward, like something stood there, watching, thinking, waiting. Eli stepped outside and looked at the horizon. Mountains in the distance. Silent, cold, dangerous. But now he had a choice. Stay here and hide, or go into the mountains and find the child's mother, and maybe face whatever followed them. He looked back at the ship. The girl stood in the doorway, watching him. Her eyes were no longer just scared. They were begging. The scarred map alley laid the strange doll on the table beside the girl. She didn't speak. She only hugged her knees, rocking slightly. Outside, the snow had stopped falling, but the cold had not left. The sky above the planet was dark blue, almost black. Stars blinked through the clouds like silent watchers. Eli turned to the map on his screen. It showed nothing new, just a red zone near the mountains, marked unstable, and a few other dead readings. But then the girl did something odd. She walked to the wall where his old paper maps were pinned. Some were from planets long behind him. Others were just memories. She stared at one, a burnt, torn map from a failed mining colony on this planet years ago. It had no value now. Or so he thought. She reached up with trembling fingers and pointed at a small black mark on the edge of the map. "That," she whispered, "that is where Mama sleeps." Eli stared at it. "This place, that's inside the red zone." She nodded, then looked at the floor. Her hand reached for something on the ground. It was a small piece of metal, shaped like a triangle. She dragged it along the floor slowly, drawing something in the dust. A cave, a door, a warning. That night she finally spoke more. The translator buzzed to life and caught pieces of her broken language. Mountain home. Many go. None return. "What happened?" Eli asked. "Noise, bright light, beast wake, Mama, closed door, told me run." He leaned forward. "Your mother sealed herself inside?" The girl nodded. Eli sat back, thinking. Something still lived in that cave. And it was not friendly. But there was more. "Why were you outside alone?" he asked softly. The girl didn't answer. She only drew again. This time, her drawing showed 3 tall shapes. Not like her, not like him. Big shoulders, long arms, helmets. She circled them in red, then drew a smaller figure, her, and a door closing between them. Eli stared at the shapes. "Hunters?" he guessed. She didn't reply. Later, while the girl slept, Eli scanned the metal triangle she carried. It wasn't a toy, it was part of an access key. Alien tech. Old, but functional. It held a code, half broken. The signature matched something near the red zone on his scanner, so it was true. There really was a sealed door inside the cave, and the child's mother might still be alive behind it. But the biggest surprise came the next morning. Eli was checking his ship's storage bay when he saw something strange. A crate he hadn't opened since landing. It had moved. He opened it. Inside, under broken parts and wires, was a black stone tablet. He didn't put it there. He'd never seen it before. Carved on it was the same triangle symbol from the rocks outside. But this one had something new. A small drawing of a creature with many arms, standing over bodies. Below it, in old galactic letters, were 2 words: "Do not wake." Eli stared at the girl. She sat quietly, playing with the metal piece again. "Who gave you that triangle key?" he asked. She didn't speak. But her face, it showed guilt, fear. She had taken it from the sealed cave. She had opened something, and now something was awake. Eli knew what he had to do. He grabbed his blaster, his coat, and his boots. He marked the mountain cave on his wrist scanner. He looked back at the girl. She watched him silently, then reached out and put the triangle key in his hand. "Please," she said, "bring her back." Then she added, barely above a whisper, "before it finds us." The silent village. The mountain was colder than Eli had expected. Each step up the icy path felt heavier, like the air itself wanted to push him back. The little alien girl had stayed behind in the ship, curled up with her doll, watching silently as the door closed behind him. Now he was alone. Again, but not unwatched. The trail the girl had drawn matched perfectly with the map. A narrow crack in the rocks opened into a wide, frozen valley. In the distance, half hidden beneath the snow and ice, lay a village. Old buildings, strange shapes, bent metal frames and broken glass. Everything was covered in frost. It looked like no one had lived here for years. But Eli's boots sank into fresh footprints, not animal, not his. He stepped carefully. The first building had no door. Inside, the walls were covered in black moss and icicles. There were bunk beds, long rusted, small toys frozen to the floor. Drawings on the walls, some happy, some not. One showed a large eye, just an eye, looking. watching. Eli shivered. He moved deeper into the village. There were no signs of fire, no signs of battle, only quiet escape, like the people had left in a hurry. Then he saw them, bodies, frozen where they fell. An adult alien, lying curled in the snow, one hand reaching toward the sky. Another had collapsed beside a doorway, shielding. 2 children, their faces were peaceful. Too peaceful, like they never even saw death coming. Eli's heart pounded. This place was a graveyard, but what killed them? Why no wounds, no blood? Then he saw it scratched into a metal door. Do not breathe the light. He paused. The phrase made no sense. And yet, it scared him. He turned a corner and stopped cold. There, built into the side of a hill, was a long bunker. Its door stood open, but ice covered most of the frame. A symbol above it, the triangle again, and next to the door, a body. Not alien. Human. Frozen, stiff, still in armor, still holding a datapad. Eli rushed over, wiped the screen, and powered it on. It buzzed. It still worked. Log entry. Project Cold Nest. Failed evac. The artifact was activated. Entire sector compromised. Requesting lockdown. Another. Message blinked. 1 child escaped. No others made it. The girl. She had escaped this. She had survived something that wiped out this entire place. And this wasn't her people's village. It was a mixed site, both alien and human. A secret. Inside the bunker, Eli found more broken machines. Wires hanging like dead vines. Walls scorched from inside, then a door, locked. But next to it, a triangular keyhole. He pulled the metal piece from his pocket, the one the girl had given him. It slid in perfectly. Click. The door creaked open. Behind it, a single room lit faintly by blue lights. In the center, a cryopod. Inside it, a woman. Blue skin. Same facial features as the girl. Still alive. Barely. The pod beeped slowly, life signs weak but present. Eli stared at her. He had found the child's mother. Still breathing. Still trapped. And all around the pod. Carvings. In the wall. Strange warnings. Strange pictures. One showed the triangle symbol cracked open, and something rising from it, a shadow, with many eyes. Suddenly, Eli's scanner beeped, movement outside. He turned off his light. Listened. Something walked past the door, slow, heavy, breathing, the sound of claws scraping ice. Eli held his breath. Then, silence. He knew now. This village died because of something unseen, and whatever it wasn't gone. The creature beneath. The silence inside the bunker was heavy. Eli stood in the dark, staring at the cryopod. The woman, the alien child's mother, lay still inside, her eyes closed, skin pale blue under the soft light. She was alive, but only, just outside the door, something moved. A shadow passed by the frost-covered window. It didn't walk like a person. It slid, dragged. The sound of claws across ice echoed faintly down the halls. Eli froze, back against the wall, weapon ready. But nothing came. Not yet. He looked back at the cryopod. Symbols around it glowed faintly. This wasn't just a sleep chamber, it was a seal. A prison made to protect her or contain something else. He checked the life signs. Weak. Slipping. If he didn't act now, she would die. But if he opened the pod, what else would he release? Suddenly, a scream. Not from the pod. Not human. From outside. Long, sharp, filled with pain and hunger. The same sound the girl had drawn with shaking hands. The beast. It was here, and it was angry. Eli slammed the cryopod's controls. Warning lights flashed. He didn't care. The mother's heartbeat was falling fast. He had minutes. Come on, he muttered. Don't die on me now. The pod hissed. Steam filled the room. Lights turned red, and the woman gasped. Her eyes flew open, bright gold like her daughter's. She tried to sit up, but winced in pain. My child, she whispered. She's safe, Eli said quickly. She's waiting for you. Tears filled her eyes. It's awake. You must run. Eli shook his head. We don't run. Not anymore. Then the floor shook. Boom. Dust fell from the ceiling. Boom. A deep growl rumbled through the halls. The creature was inside. Eli helped the mother stand. She leaned on him, weak but alert. Together they made it out of the chamber, into the main corridor of the bunker. They didn't make it far. At the end of the hallway stood a figure, tall, massive, covered in frost and bone, 6 long limbs, skin like cracked stone, a head too large and with too many eyes. It didn't roar, it didn't charge, it simply watched, breathing, waiting. The mother whispered, "It was made by those who came before. It guards this place. It remembers me." Eli raised his weapon. "Can it be killed?" She didn't answer, but her hand reached into her coat, pulling out a small glowing stone. It pulsed softly. The beast growled. The stone glowed brighter. The mother's hand shook as she spoke to it in her own tongue. The stone vibrated. A sharp, ringing filled the air. The creature screamed. Its body twitched. It fell to its knees. Eli grabbed the chance. "Run!" They ran through the hall. The snow outside had started falling again, but it didn't matter. They were alive, together, but the beast was not dead. It was just angry, and now it knew exactly who had returned. The heart of ice snow fell harder now, thick and fast. Eli helped the alien mother through the storm. She was weak, leaning heavily against him, but her eyes were sharp, alert. The mountains behind them were no longer silent. The beast was awake, and it was coming. They reached the ship as lightning cracked across the dark sky. The child stood in the doorway, her little hands shaking. When she saw her mother, she cried out and ran forward. "Mama!" The mother dropped to her knees in the snow, arms open. The child ran into her embrace, and the two held each other like they'd never let go again. Eli looked away for a second. Then the ground shook. He spun around, gun ready. From the white fog behind them, movement. The beast, no longer creeping, no longer quiet. Now it came like a storm, huge, cold, full of hate. The mother turned and whispered to her daughter, "Inside. Now." Eli pulled them both into the ship and slammed the door shut. Alarms started, flashing. The ship's sensors screamed. Massive bioform detected, 20 meters and closing. Eli looked at the mother. "We have to fly now." But she shook her head. "It will follow, no matter how far. It guards the artifact still inside me." "What?" She touched her chest. "Long ago, my people sealed something ancient inside this body. I was the key. It sleeps until it senses change, until it smells fear." Eli stepped back. "You're saying you're carrying... what? A weapon?" "No," she whispered. "A memory of something the stars forgot." The ship rocked. A massive claw struck the hull. The girl screamed. The mother grabbed the glowing stone again. It flickered. "Weak. I can hold it," she said, voice breaking. "I can keep it trapped, but not in this form. You must choose." "Choose what?" Eli shouted. She pointed to the escape pod. "Take her. Fly. I will stay." "No." His voice was sharp now. "You just got her back. I'm not taking her away again." The beast screamed outside. Metal groaned. A dent appeared in the wall. The mother looked into Eli's eyes. "If I leave, it will follow me. If it follows me, it finds others, planets, people, you, her. No one will stop it." The child grabbed Eli's hand, terrified. "Please don't leave Mama." Eli knelt down, thought fast, breathed deep. And then he did something none of them expected. He opened the ship's emergency bay. Inside was a containment unit, used for dangerous cargo. He looked at the mother. "You said it reacts to fear?" She nodded. "I've been in war. I don't fear monsters." He handed her the triangle key. "We're not running. We're sealing it here. Together." The plan was crazy, but they had one chance. The mother climbed into the containment unit. The artifact inside her began to glow, reacting to her decision. The ship's AI struggled to stabilize the lock. Eli turned to the child. "When I say run, you run to the escape pod, got it?" She nodded slowly, tears in her eyes. Outside, the beast roared one final time, and then it broke through. Metal crashed inward. The room exploded in snow and wind. The creature filled the doorway, its eyes burning. It saw Eli. It saw the girl, and it charged. Eli slammed the unit shut. The artifact inside the mother flared like a star. The creature howled, stopped mid-run, then trembled and cracked. Its stone-like skin split open with light. It took one more step, then fell, dead. Smoke filled the air. The lights flickered. The mother lay still in the sealed pod, alive but frozen again, this time with her own choice. Eli picked up the child. "Let's go home." A new fire. The stars looked different now, brighter, quieter. The storm planet was far behind them, just a frozen ball of pain and memory. Inside the small ship, Eli sat quietly in the pilot's seat. His hands didn't move. The controls were silent. The stars drifted slowly across the windows. He had launched with only 2 souls on board, one small, one heavy with grief. The child sat in the corner, hugging her knees. She hadn't spoken since the pod closed. Her mother was still alive, but frozen again, sealed in the containment unit deep in the cargo hold, this time by choice, to stop the thing that had haunted them all, to stop the ancient beast, to save her daughter. Eli checked the ship's systems. The AI voice spoke gently. "Destination, orbital refuge station 4 days away. Life support stable, power 78%. But he didn't care about the numbers. His eyes were on the drawing taped to the wall beside the controls. A child's drawing. 3 figures, holding, hands under a star. One tall, one small, one glowing in a crystal pod. Later, the girl walked to him. She climbed up into the co-pilot seat without a word. He didn't say anything either. They just watched the stars. Then finally, in a small voice, she said, "Will she dream?" Eli looked at her. "I think so." "Good dreams?" she asked. He nodded. "The best ones." The silence sat between them for a while. Then she reached into her pocket and pulled out the triangle key. She held it tight. Then she looked up at Eli with wide eyes. "You didn't run," she said. "No." "Why?" He smiled, just a little. "Because someone had to stay." The girl thought about that, then asked, "Are you my family now?" Eli's smile faded. "I don't know," he said honestly. "Do you want me to be?" She nodded slowly. Then she whispered, "Can I call you Papa?" Eli closed his eyes for a second. When he opened them, his voice was softer. "Yes, you can." The next morning she was drawing again. This time she used color. Her picture showed a new place, a station in space, people, other children, warm lights, and in the middle, she drew herself, smiling. Beside her, Eli, holding her hand. When they reached the orbital refuge station, a team came out to greet them, scientists, medics, translators. They took one look at the child and stopped. Some of them knew her species. Most had never seen one alive. They asked questions. Eli only answered one. "She's with me," he said. "She's safe." That was all they needed. Weeks passed. The girl learned quickly. She played with other children. She smiled more. She even laughed. But every night before sleep, she touched the drawing of her mother taped above her bed. "Soon," she'd whisper. "Soon we wake you." Eli stayed by her side. He helped fix things around the station, shared stories with the staff, taught some of the kids how to use tools, but most days he just watched the stars, waiting, hoping. One evening, the girl ran up to him with a device in her hand. "Look," she said, "I found something." It was a signal, faint, deep in space. An old alien code, the same as her mother's people. A message, not from the past, from someone else. Another survivor, another hidden village, or maybe a new beginning. Eli looked at her. She looked back, eyes glowing like twin suns. He smiled. "Let's go find them." The end.